Thank you very much for joining us for this session. So, I'm trying to organize this session with Mr. Anand Shah. So, just to introduce him, Mr. Anand Shah is the CEO of NJ Advisory Services. So, the portfolio management business and the asset management business of NJ is under Mr. Anand Shah. So, Mr. Anand Shah comes with about 20 plus years of experience in funds management. So, Anand, thank you very much for making some time today. The whole idea of getting you into this conversation today is that over the last few days we've been hearing a lot from the media, hearing a lot from analysts and so on about the coronavirus and its impacts. So what we've also seen is the impacts, a lot of this could be noise, a lot of this could be reality. So a lot of our partners are struggling with what is right and what is wrong. And investors, their behavior normally is quite irrational. So irrationally, a lot of investors have been coming forward to redeem their funds and so on. So a lot of our partners have been asking us questions in terms of what are the realities and myths behind the coronavirus and its impacts. So first of all, my first question to you, Anand, is we see that there's a global slowdown on the markets, and the markets have been taking quite a beating due to the coronavirus. So can you tell us why is this impacting the stock market, and what are its short-term and long-term impacts on the global market first, and then probably we'll then go to India.
Hi. So coronavirus is there for now some time. It's not that it's emerged only in the month of February, but what you are now seeing is that while it was concentrated in a part of China, now very clearly over last 1 month you have seen it spreading to Iran, Italy, Korea, and to some extent Japan. And very recently now we are seeing cases in US and other countries of the Europe. So I think having said that this will also pass, it needs to be understood that now it is not concentrated in some part of the world, but it's been sort of spreading very rapidly. The good news is that it is not really something which has a very high mortality, and to that extent it's like another flu which one needs to be conscious, and to that extent everybody needs to take precautions. Otherwise also, but more importantly now in terms of keeping hygiene. But having said that, its impact on the market is such that today already we are seeing cancellations on the flights, cancellation on the hotel bookings. So this is the first level of impact that you will see in the global economy, which is on the tourism. For many countries, Chinese tourists were one of the largest flocks of people visiting as tourists and spending really good amount of money in that. So that's the first level of impact. But the second level of impact you will eventually see if this extends for the longer, and we hope not, but if it were to extend for another month or two, then China is a very key supplier of primary or the secondary level of logistics materials to various manufacturing industry globally.
Right.
And to that extent, we can have a delayed impact on certain manufacturing outputs also in various parts of the world.
Sure.
Third, China being one of the very large consumer of commodities, particularly metals, anything between 40 to 60% of the global production of a given metal is consumed by China. If this continues for a few more months, then we will see obviously impact on the commodity. But you have already seen what's happening on the crude price, and crude price is significantly corrected. So I think this is something which will have a short-term impact on the economy, and it is having that impact on the economy where anyways there is a fear of slowdown in the economy. So
Sure.
I think this along with a very good rally in the equity markets, both in India and globally, which made markets a little expensive, led to this sharp correction in the month of February.
All right. So that's a good point, Anand. And the other thing that we've been constantly hearing is again a view from a lot of people. I wanted to get pick your mind on it. Is that China over the past 5 years, 10 years, 15 years has eventually become a concentrated hub for manufacturing and production and so on. So, do you think with the problem that's happening in a region like China, okay, does it throw up warning signs to a lot of manufacturing companies to say a concentration in a particular region could become very risky? So, do you think the effect of this could be that emerging economies or upcoming manufacturing destinations like India or maybe other emerging markets could benefit out of this issue?
That again will be a medium to longer term impact. While that was already happening, given China was aging and the availability of labor was reducing, and to that extent, manpower cost was anyways going up in China. I think so. There was some shift happening outside China. You look at Vietnam, you look at Thailand, a lot of Southeast Asian countries, including India, was getting some manufacturing. I think this, if at all, can accelerate that, but again, it will not have any short-term impact, but would have a medium to long-term impact on various manufacturing industries in the other developing markets.
Sure. So, Anand, the impact of the coronavirus on the global markets and then hence the global cues flowing into India, seeping into India, we see that the Indian market is also reacting to the global cues. So, what do you think about its impact directly on the Indian market or indirectly? Is it just the global cues or is it really impacting the Indian market in any way?
So again, I think as we speak today, the direct impact of the coronavirus on the Indian industries is nominal or very little. But you can imagine that if this were to continue to spread and continue to impact larger number of countries and industries, the Indian IT industries obviously will have some sort of impact.
Right.
If it were to have significant increase as far as the spreading of this virus in India is concerned, will have an impact on the Indian airline industry or the hotel industry or for that matter any entertainment industry. And to that extent, yeah, this is still an early stage to give a final view on this. Having said that, like every other incidents that happen, this will also pass, and to that extent, the long term, the impact of this particular event will be, a blip in the market. It will not be a permanent impact.
Sure.
But plus, we need to be cognizant of what's happening in the market at this point of time. But I don't think it has any significant long-term impact on the valuations of individual companies or sectors.
Absolutely. So, in fact, today and last few days, I've been talking to a couple of partners because what we see is when you look at clients in PMS, because their money is invested directly in stocks, so they tend to look at the markets on a day-to-day basis and they react more irrationally than mutual fund clients. So we see that a lot of these clients are today coming forward and saying that this is the beginning of a catastrophe, so we want to redeem money, we want to stay on the sidelines and then come in when the market looks more stable. So practically, if you take a look at it, while the markets have fallen, the fundamentals of these companies are not really impacted. The quality of these companies don't seem to be really impacted. Their business models are still good. So, like you said, it could be a blip for a short term, but long term fundamentals, I don't think there is a serious problem. Have I got you right?
Yeah, but having said that, this is the nature of the beast. I think equity markets per se will always be volatile. The reason why equity markets are volatile because the equity shareholders have the last right to all the cash flows.
Correct.
So for some reason, if there's a slowdown, and to that extent there's a drop in the sales for a given year, while the vendors and the employees and the utilities, everybody gets paid, what's left for the shareholder might fall drastically for a given year.
Sure.
Which means that the EPS for a year can fall drastically. It doesn't have a long-term impact on the valuation, but has a short-term impact on the EPS.
Sure.
And given that a lot of our market participants go by PE multiple for the given year, markets might and individual stocks might correct. So we can't say that market will not react given that it has no long-term impact. But that's the nature of the beast. And the greed and fear, which is a classic thing which we always talk about,
right,
will get into the play when you will see that there will be some impact on this quarter or next quarter numbers.
Sure.
People will read it.
Sure. So Anand, I think that's fantastic because what we really have seen of you is that in your last 2 decades of funds management experience, you would have seen multiple ups and downs, multiple events like these. So I think it's only fair to pay a lot of attention to what you're saying, and there's a lot of value to what you're saying. So in summary, to conclude this module, if we have to take just 3 takeaways from this particular conversation that we can leave back with our partners and our investors, what are the 3 key takeaways you would want to leave?
I think first and foremost, every year and at every moment there are risks to the markets, and this is one more risk among the many risks which we have spoken and heard about, be it Brexit, be it the election, and so on and so forth. We have dealt with many such risks. There is one more risk to the market. So in last 20 years, we have seen so many events which have, including global financial crisis or 9/11 or even the SARS, which was there in 2003. So I think there is one more risk, and one need to be cognizant that the risks will always be there in the markets. And to that extent, market always has a room to correct, and that's what is happening at this point of time.
Right.
But also the fact is that eventually the earnings will matter, and strong businesses and the strong companies which will be resilient to the near-term issues but will come out winner will have, eventually prevail and create wealth for the markets in general and the investors on that individual stocks.
Great. So thank you very much, Anand, for throwing some light. We're going to be able to just capsulate this and share it with our partners, and I hope this is going to be helpful to all our partners to understand the situation and share it with our clients. But the underlying message which Anand is giving us is that this is a situation which is like many other situations. Associated risks in the markets are there. We believe that this will also pass, and it's a time that we focus on looking at long term and staying invested. All right. Thank you very much, Anand, for your time, and we'll come back to you for another edition of this with another topic.
Thank you, Anand.
Thank you so much.